Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. Welcome to Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. We did our long live stream this morning, which is what we usually do on Sundays. And if you missed it, just check out my YouTube channel. Joe Rayo joined in, and we get into everything with regards to what's happening across the Northeast for tonight and Monday into Monday night, as well as New Year's and the long range. But front and center tonight is cold air that's wedging down from Maine in through upstate New York. Looking at the NAM model profile of the temperatures, and it's actually the coldest of all the models, and it's not nearly cold enough with what's being reflected currently. This is where the model showed temperatures to be this evening with 32-degree readings up into upstate New York. When we look at current temperatures, they're actually a bit lower. And in some places in northeastern Pennsylvania, we're sitting at the freezing mark. For example, Mount Pocono, there's some elevation there, obviously. And this is going to be a big deal with regards to elevation. So pay attention if that applies to you. Temperatures 32 there. We're in the low 40s across southern Pennsylvania, southern New Jersey, and Maryland, and on up to New York City, the low 40s, 30s on Long Island, upper 30s on Long Island, and middle 30s in the lower Hudson Valley and in coastal Connecticut. I don't think icing is going to be an issue here. Clearly, it's not. In northwest New Jersey, we might see enough colder air coming down that we could see some places get near or below the 32-degree mark. But when we look at upstate New York, these temperatures are low. They are in the mid-30s and even some lower 30s. And just to the north, we've got temperatures in the upper 20s and lower 30s. So that cold air is going to be wedging southward during tonight and on Monday to an extent. It doesn't get far enough south to reach New York City or Philadelphia, clearly, but it does impact areas up just north and west of the coast. And here's the NAM model, which, again, as the coldest of the models, it's not really even cold enough. Notice that for tomorrow afternoon, it gets into the 50s in southern New Jersey, and that 50-degree isotherm makes it into south central Pennsylvania. We'll see if that works out, because a lot of times when cold air wedges down from New England like this, the models tend to try to make it too warm, and the cold air just kind of gets stuck and pinned east of the mountains. And you see how cold it is up in Maine and New Hampshire, where temperatures are going to be in the 20s. It's not bitter cold air, but it's certainly cold enough that it is creating these big issues. Now, with respect to ice accretion here, if you're traveling up into New England, I hope you've already done so, because we're talking these large areas in the darker purples, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, and maybe locally up to an inch of ice accretion there. And this is enough to create substantial damage to trees and power lines in this entire area. Upstate New York through the Catskills, you can see it extends down into northeastern Pennsylvania. Less than 1/10 of an inch being forecasted in areas to the east of Scranton. But then you start to get into the bigger numbers as you go north, and then on up through the Berkshires and into southern Vermont. Some substantial icing will be occurring in this region. Now, let's run through what we expect to happen. For everybody else, it's rain, and it's going to be on the order of about 1 to 2 inches worth of rain. Fortunately, it's spread out between now and tomorrow evening, so it's not likely to cause any kind of flooding. I don't think it will, being that it's going to be falling over about 24 hours worth. But you can take a look at how the NAM handles this. And we've got rain overnight. Gradually during the night and during the day tomorrow, you start to see that freezing rain. This is for tomorrow morning. And then that freezing rain pushes southward as we go through the day. So that's the colder air push coming in from the northeast. The back edge of the rain is moving eastward, reaches the coast by Monday afternoon, and then it moves out. Low pressure is developing there off the New Jersey coast and heading on to the northeast. Now, if you're thinking about Tuesday and Wednesday, New Year's Eve, I don't see any big problems here. There's going to be some lake effect snows going on throughout western New York, northwest Pennsylvania into Ohio, and also some snow accumulating snows in Maine and in parts of New Hampshire. But for everybody else, Tuesday is going to be a pretty decent day for New Year's Eve. Clouds with some sun and temperatures in the 40s. When the new year arrives, Tuesday night at midnight, we'll be in the 30s in most areas. And then Wednesday, New Year's Day, I'm thinking clouds and some sun. Higher pressure starts to build in from the southwest, and it shouldn't be too bad with temperatures on New Year's Day in the upper 30s and lower 40s. Longer range Thursday looks dry, and then we may get some rain Thursday night into Friday. Weather system and a cold front moves through, and then we're going to have another cold front come through late next weekend and early next week. So look for a stair-step decline in temperatures as it gradually turns colder into the first week of January. Although right now, we don't see any storms on the table with regards to significant snow in the area through next weekend. After that, there's some uncertainty in the weather models, and we'll be addressing that in the coming days. So just travel carefully tonight in the rain, and think about it if you're headed north, where it's still above freezing. Pay close attention to the weather in your travels. You can get the latest National Weather Service ice forecasts if you download my free weather app, the meteorologist Joe Cioffi weather app, or on Google Play or on the App Store. The ice accretion forecasts for areas that are under ice storm warnings and winter weather advisories are posted, and you can take a look. You can also look at the rainfall forecast map for this particular event. That is also updated. So we'll see you tomorrow, regular time tomorrow morning. We'll update this all again on Weather in 5.